always are a threat in set pieces. And it's interesting, you know, that while we talk about set pieces, they've had free kicks, they've had throw-ins, they've not had one corner yet. And we all know how dangerous Arsenal are on corners, especially in FA Cup finals.
Well, you said that, you do. We said at the start of the game that, or you said that Arsenal were going to win. Now you're saying that they're going to get the first goal from the set piece.
Yeah, I've been surprised at the way Torino have played. They've played very well, but I still stick with Arsenal.
Okay, stick with Arsenal. Right then, let's get on with the second half. The kick-off just a couple of seconds away. Time to rejoin Ron Atkinson and the match commentator, Brian Moore. Thank you, Matthew. Well, do you stick with Arsenal?
I'm hoping Arsenal win. At the moment, there's nothing to suggest that they're favourites to win it. I just feel they've got to build up their tempo. I still really. I think, you know, they've been a bit steady. You know, you talk about playing the patience game in Europe. I think that was better for the likes of when Liverpool were in their pomp. I think Arsenal at their best are a forcing side.
Well, they're attacking the old North Bank. Used to be the North Bank at the moment. And it's right doing the attacking, pursued there by Sinigalia. Oh, and it fell for him. Until Fortunato got in there and made the clearance. It's Arsenal's throw. Lee Dixon with it. A long one towards Smith. Two defenders going for that. And in fact, at last, Arsenal get a corner. Well, Davis will take it, the first one of the game. And, well, Steve Bow is already in that familiar position at the near post with that little flick on that is so difficult to defend against, but that's not delivered in nearly well enough. Bow trying to keep the momentum going. As Yanni gets it clear for Torino. Winterburn. Right, peeled away down this left flank. Smith there. That's Gregucci was right on Smith's heels.
It waits so long for 40-odd minutes for a corner, and then the delivery is such a poor quality.
What a play. Torino's throw.
Must say they've looked tentative from the all match, Arsenal. They've never looked convincing about what they're doing.
Here's Winterburn. Smith. Gregucci. Oh, Smith done well. Winterburn's done well. And now he gets it clear. Sinigalia makes the final clearance. And Adams will get the throw. But
that's more like it. That was the earlier ball. The ball that zips in early and creates the pressure situation.
Only the marker looks to be limping a little bit, actually. Fortunato, the sweeper, gets it clear. Tony Adams. Cut out by Chris. Bit long. Right in there, hoping to get behind the marker. In fact, I think it hit right. It cleared the marker, Anoni. Hit right on the back of the head. Adams didn't really get a contact on that. So let's see. And in the end, it was Davis. Yanni had made a terrific break for Torino, and Solenski just refused to release the ball to him, which was good news for Arsenal. Winterburn releasing that one towards Smith. Arrested from behind again by Gregucci, who's already got a yellow card, remember.
I don't think Alex ever had a tougher game than this in his career, I wouldn't think.
He's a big tough man, this number 5, isn't he, Gregucci?
Big to his task, he's there, yeah.
He was a teammate of Gazza's last season at Lazio. He was captain, actually, of Lazio Rome. His first season at Torino. Free kick for Arsenal then. Very excitable fellow, that number 5. Also a fearsome tackler. Winterburn now plays it in towards Merson. This is Fortunato who got it clear. Adam, spotting that danger. Manchester came in. Winterburn knocking it forward. Sinigalia just plays it as a touch.
He's worked tremendously hard for Sinigalia.
Winterburn plays it in early towards right, and only so. Winterburn again, doing plenty of work in the early moments of this second half. Mercer. Winterburn again, playing it in carefully. Smith. Mercer. A bit of space here. Paul Davis. Steady with a shot. Will he have another go? Brought down on the edge of the box, but I'm just wondering why Davis didn't have a little pop himself.
Well, that is talk about passing the buck there. I mean, that is good build-up from the Arsenal.
Right, this is good work now for Arsenal. And Susie in the end getting it away. Sorry, Ron.
Well, we're going to say Davidson. Let's give the crowd the left, though. The start is now, you know, there's been a bit of tempo about it. It's also noticeable, you know, that Alan Smith has started pulling wide. And whether that's deliberate just to try and pull Bergucci out the middle.
Zelensky. Still have to watch these breaks. Francescoli. Jensen after him. And Jensen played the ball, made the challenge. Arsenal get the throw. It wasn't an unfair challenge from behind. Francescoli unhappy about it. Adams. Here's Winterberg. They really upped the tempo in these opening minutes of the second half. Mercer. No foul.
He's running from side to side, Mercer. He's making 40-yard duggies across the pitch. And every time he turns around, Sandro Choice, number 4, is about half a yard from behind him.
Smith. Winterberg. Stopped by Gregucci.
Now this is encouraging from the Arsenal point of view. You're right, they've got to make sure that they don't leave the back door open. But this, to me, represents their best way of winning. They get ahead of steam.
Adams in quickly. Jensen. I think George Graham probably had the paint peeling on the dressing room walls at half-time because he's really done something to get the tempo in this Arsenal side now. Yanni gets it away. They've got to be wary of this situation. Adams versus Zelensky, and Adams in the end kept his head beautifully, nodding it back for Seaman. Gibson. Anoni. Zelensky. Yanni.
There was a nice hole in the middle of the Torino defence when Smith, all of a sudden, when the ball's wide, and Smith dragged the Drury out, Gucci out into a wider area. I certainly don't fancy Agnoni in 1v1 situations against Rice. That's annoyed him, right? He's just in 40 yards to link up and connect with Winterberg. He's turned it all the way back to his own goalkeeper.
Winterburn in again. Davis leaving it for Winterburn. Winterburn all the way. Great save. That was a super piece of goalkeeping by Galley.
The bad miss, right? He's done excellent there, Winterburn. Since the start of this first half, he's driven the game. He's made 3 or 4 good surges. Very good trick on Fortunato there. And really, with the left foot he's got, that should have been going in the back of the net.
Jensen with the header. Susie.
Against him to life, hasn't it? I mean, I thought he was in danger of sort of just going a little bit tepid first half, but now there's a passion about the game.
Smith dragging Gregucci wide again.
Now, if you can deliver from here, this is a situation with a big centre-half in the middle.
Davis. Lucy. Challenged by Smith and by Davis. Outwits the pair of them. Flicks it for Francescoli. Yanni. These are the runs we were saying they must beware of. Winterburn again. Undercut inside Sinigalia. Foul by Sinigalia. Free kick to Arsenal. Adams. Right. Nonis come deep to mark him. Right, picking out Winterburn. Much more movement about Arsenal in this second half.
They look a different side. They look much more purposeful, much more as if they know what they want out of the game now. I thought they looked, to use the word, dippy in first half. Now they're more. Oh,
Pushed by Smith. Smith claims it was a dive.
the crowd are giving him marks.
Gregucci saying, aren't you going to do something about it, ref? And Wright offers him a hand of friendship. Well, the referee's given Torino a free kick. Oh, what a dive.
But Smith, after the stick he's taken all through the game, can't believe he's had a free kick given against him for that.
Adam. Oh, that was a slight clearance by Dixon. But Winterburn left it forward. So there is Sinigalia. Now Noni. Yanni on the far side. Got terrific pace. Davis just held him up there for a moment. But the free kick was given. There was a foul by Davis. Davis claims he played the ball. But once Yanni has worked up ahead of steam, goodness, he takes some stopping. He is so quick.
He's an exciting player, isn't he?
So Arsenal now need to be disciplined at this end, just as they were enthusiastic at the other. Gone wide from Francescoli. Saying at half-time, Ron, how businesslike you thought Torino looked. In fact, it's Arsenal who are looking very businesslike in these opening minutes of the second half.
But I think Arsenal are looking more like Arsenal. I know that's what they are really now. I mean, when you play against, oh, that's lovely looking.
Lovely ball by Merson. Dixon couldn't quite get on the end of it. Here's Lee Dixon. His persistence has paid off. Not a good ball by John Jensen, though.
Yeah, I say, when you play here, when you come here with the side, you don't expect to play against Arsenal and have a steady tempo game. You know, whatever happens, you're going to be in for it. The tempo of the game is always going to be high.
Linesman flagging on the far side. He wasn't sure about it, it seemed to me.
And as I said, Brian, for me, first half, that didn't really happen. It was too steady. I know you're always a bit frightened in Europe about the away goal against and things like that. But if you have a way of playing, sometimes you've got to stick to that way of playing. I just wonder whether Arsenal have got caught between two stools. Tony Adams with a nutmeg. That's probably the same area Stanley Matthews went down a few times.
Well, Fortunato, who has a problem. Played for Atalanta and Juventus and Bari. Cowley with the kick. Renzi. Oh, what a bad ball there by Dixon. Straight to Musi. Was a bad ball. And they're not out of the wood yet. Noni. Davis gets it clear. Up to Smith, who's come a yard or two off Taguchi. Couldn't control it, though. Curry. Smith's after him as well. Giving him no rest whatsoever now. Merson down the line. And Arsenal's ball. Well, it's encouraging the crowd to cheer them, but Merson at the moment is injured.
I know they've got limp already made, but that'd be a blow for them. That'd be a blow if Paul Merson came back. Because to me, he looks as if he's got the bit between his teeth tonight. So he hasn't really come up with yet, but you always get the feeling when you see him in this mood that he could make. You see, he's got 9 goals. He looks as if he could pull something out the bag for them tonight.
Just saying also, and I suppose it's one of the things that's on George Graham's mind, is Anders Limpais on the bench. You were saying to me at half-time, you never like him playing when you come here.
No, I mean, he can make things happen. Trevor Francis made the point. He plays against continental opposition, or he's played in Italy himself, so he knows about this.
Well, there he is. There's the man in the tunnel there now. Not Gary Newbon. Right alongside Anders Limpais. Let's have a word with Gary Newbon.
Well, Brian, I can tell you what was said at half-time, actually. George Graham said, look, we were playing it the right way until the last 10 minutes of the first half. Keep the ball on the ground. You're playing too many long balls. And so they started the second half, keeping the ball down, keeping it short, but still looking for the opportunity to put Smith away in terms of knocking it down to Merson and Wright. And obviously, they want to make sure that Merson's perfectly all right now.
Well, he is. He's on his feet. He's chipping the ball forward. Thank you, Gary. Tony Adams. There, if it stays at 0-0, we go to extra time, and if it stays at 0-0 after that, we go to penalties. Davis. Winterburn. Trying unfairly to shrug off Roberto Musti.
Yeah, I think they've overplayed their Arsenal. It's supposed to put 2 or 3 extra passes in. Ian Wright to pull away to the far part of the penalty area, and he's just man 1v1 against Anioni. Big centre-half out the middle, so anything flown in there, he's going to have a great chance.
Oh, taken nicely on that chest, but the pass left a good deal to be desired. And he's got a backtrack. Lentz is after him. Adams. Oh, will Seaman get there? Well, Seaman, surely that was a back pass by Adams.
I think Seaman realised just at the very moment he was going to pick it up, but there was a possibility.
Tell you what, I think he actually handled the ball there, you know.
There was that much confusion. And Tony Adams has got to have better concentration than that. It's a very loose ball. Could have been very costly for him.
Let's have a look at it very quickly here. Back with Seaman now while you're watching this.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that was a miscontrol more than a back pass, to be fair, but I mean, you know, you're in the lap of the gods if you decide to pluck the ball up. I don't think actually he did pull out of that thing. I think he didn't quite make it.
Yanni with the header for Torino. Such a powerful competition, this Cup Winners' Cup, as we come towards the semi-finals. Two other, the Emiliano Mondonico, the coach of Torino. Free kick for Arsenal. The other match is being played tonight in this competition. Bayer Leverkusen, the German Cup winners against Benfica. That's 1-1 after the first leg. And Bayer Leverkusen, we gather, a one-up on the night. And then there's Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid. Paris leading 1-0 going into the second leg. And Real Madrid lead 1-0 in that one. So it's really tight. But some really excellent sides. And Parma of Italy and Ajax play tomorrow. Free kick then for Arsenal. Floated in. Timo Kaguchi. It might have gone anywhere. In the end, it went for Muti. Finding Francescoli. And the break. They look for the break again. Fortunato. Arsenal thought it was a handball. The referee said no. Here's Francescoli again. Time there was a foul on Francescoli. It's a free kick.
Tell you what, that was dangerous. I mean, a free kick at one end of the third, then Torino break, and actually they had men over. If Fortunato could have played a diagonal ball there to the other side of the Arsenal defence, they would have been in dead set.
Up goes Bowl, he does well. In goes Winterburn, but Musti got the better of him. Sinigalia. And Selly already put. Losing his head again there, the young man, and flying in there, conceding a free kick just outside the penalty area. There's assault on Sinigalia. There we are, Ron.
Yes, I mean, he's just thrown himself at him there. To be fair, a top Italian player doesn't need too much encouragement to go down on the edge of the opposite penalty box.
Francescoli and Yanni behind this. It's the Dutch referee insisting Arsenal go back 10 yards. Francescoli. Arsenal get it away. It was Lee Dixon with the header. Merson knocking it on. Francescoli again. Mutti. Winterburn with a little cushion header for Davis. Pick up the boot there. That was a nice pass by Davis. Selling in full flight now. He's shown too much of that. To Fuzi. And Fuzi's far too experienced to let a challenge like that go. It's a lovely ball by Davis. That's off Selly.
They're just starting to nick back in again now, aren't they, Torino? Just getting their little passing movements going, taking the heat out of the game a bit.
Francescoli. Stopped very well indeed by Vincent. Up to Smith, but look at Degucci again, right behind him. Well, how much longer, referee, are you going to allow Degucci to do that? On the back of Arsenal's number 9, Degucci's already got a yellow card.
I think Smith's always going to get knocked down if he comes straight down the line of the ball or with a marker. If he's going to come up to defence, he's got to try and come up and work and handle it.
Adams on that far side. Goal. Two Arsenal top coaches, George Graham, Stuart Houston, deciding what needs to be done now. To be honest with you, Ron, I can't at the moment see where Arsenal are going to score a goal.
No, the suggestion is when they were playing with when the left back, particularly Winterburn, was making some work.
There's Winterburn again.
There looks something of a threat. There looks something of a momentum. It's a gamble if you're the manager. Does he stay tight at sort of 0-0 and then go into extra time and penalties, or does he gamble and, for me, bring Limpars on?
Well, what would you do?
I'd bring Limpar on, but I don't get knocked out of the European competition if we get beat. And I think I would make it. I'd bring one of the midfield players up. I think I might even bring Davis on. Put Limpar in a wide position on one side, and maybe Merson wide on the other, you know. Stick the two of them wide and try and stretch Torino defence a little bit more. Somehow or other, for me, they've got to try and get Agnoni a little bit exploited. He looks vulnerable to me.
Seaman knocking it forward towards Smith, who's having a real wrestling match again with Degucci.
So that sometimes can be the problem, the way Arsenal are playing with the three forwards all very close together. It's fairly easy to mark them.
Davis with the kick. Right in there. Bolden's Adams has come up from the back. Smith another 6-footer in there. And Arsenal make this one count. Well, Adams is going in there! Well, their work is done, thinks George Graham. At least it's a decisive moment as Davis's free kick comes in.
Plenty of good movement there. Plenty of good movement.
And Tony Adams finishing it off.
To be fair, that fellow, when he does get there, that's his speed. I mean, he's as good as anybody in the game, certainly in England, about going in on free kicks and attacking the ball.
Well, within a couple of minutes of me saying I can't see where Arsenal are going to score a goal, that lovely super slow motion, and that's how it's done. Tony Adams. Now, Arsenal they're not out of the wood yet. Because, of course, I'm sure you don't need me to remind you, should Torino score on a 1-1, they would go through on away goals. So they're still very much on the tightrope, Arsenal. Well, they want to keep this momentum going. I think that's probably what Stuart Houston and George Graham were on about.
I'll be interested to see what response there is from Torino now. Whether they can up their tempo or whether they'll just continue playing with the same mentality and just keep the same even pace.
I think they probably will, because they know that one goal is still enough for them, Ron. Adams.
Sometimes the difficulty is, Brian, you set out to play in a certain way, and it's not that easy to pick your tempo because you've got to change in midstream, which they've now got to do.
Here we are again.
Oh. I actually thought, I nearly shouted goal, you know, because I thought he was going to knock it back in the other corner. He just got a little feint touch on it. I thought he was going to get a full header on it and put it in the other corner.
Right. Good skill, knocking it forward.
It's a fair
Well,
kick,
there can't be extra time now, that's for sure. The match will finish on 90 minutes, but will it finish in Arsenal's favour? Or is there still something left behind for Torino? They get a corner, Francescoli with it. Big men up from the back. Deguchi's in there, Fortunato's in there, Annoni's in there. Some serious defending to be done here by Arsenal. Francescoli curling one in wickedly. Oh, my goodness, Seaman got it and lost it. It went through his hands. But Winterburn can make a nice little clearance. And Jensen can lead the charge forward. A nod of the head. The galloping Stein now gets the ball and hits straight at Curry. Dixon to Davis. Davis to right. Smith is in there, but so too is Galley. Just Salensi up again for Torino. Winterburn. Smith. Too firm a touch. Turned nicely. Sinigalia got the touch though. Fortunato playing it away. Jensen and Davis between them. Just keep it going. I'd rather them push forward. Seaman hitting it long. Smith will look to get on the end of this one. Does so. Can Wright collect though? Wright claimed he was held by Fortunato.
As if they may be bringing Delicari on, I think. Brian Torino. There is a front player.
Poggi, no, Poggi is the front player. At the moment, there's some space for Fusi. Yanni. Good play by Dixon. It was necessary too. Yanni can make those runs. That was a bad ball by Davis. Getting Poggi ready to come on, another striker. Does they will change their formation a little bit with a greater accent on attack. But who's coming off? They're taking off Sinigalia, who's done a terrific job, mostly at the back.
That surprised me, I must say. I thought they pulled one of the markers up at the back.
Poggi, a young striker who scored 3 times this season for Torino. Seems to have heightened the tension, actually, Arsenal scoring, because the prize is there to be grabbed, and yet you know that one goal conceded and it's whipped away.
That's sometimes the thing, isn't it? When it's 0-0, there's that little bit of indecision. Do we go for extra time? Do we still see it through on penalties or whatever? Now everybody in the stadium, everybody on the field knows exactly what the state of play is.
1-0 to Arsenal, and obviously if it stays that way, 1-0 on aggregate, they go through to the semi-finals. But if it finishes 1-1, then it'll be the Italians who go through on the virtue of away goals. When the aggregates are level, away goals in this competition count double. Dixon turning away. Didn't want to risk a back pass all that distance to David Seaman. Jensen. Got to do so much work in that middle of the field. Adams goes off at the back, plays it forward to Smith. Smith now to Merton. It's an Arsenal throw. About 17 minutes remaining. Deguchi, it is back again. Fortunato whips the ball away from him, or rather Francescoli whips the ball away from him. Plays it towards Poggi, stopped by Bowles. Right versus Annoni. Fortunato still the next sweeper. Oh, some brilliant play there by Francescoli. Long range shot, but no problems whatsoever. In fact, I think there were a couple offside. It's an offside.
He does look dangerous, doesn't he, when he drops off and picks the ball and comes at people. A bit like Peter Beardsley does at Newcastle, doesn't it? That's probably
such an
best comparison. He picks it up, likes running with the ball, and as you've seen tonight, willing to take a shot.
67 caps for Uruguay. Back in 1984, he was regarded, Francescoli, as the South American Footballer of the Year. But as they were saying, they reckon that over the last few weeks, his form has been his best for some time. threat is certainly there, unless Arsenal can somehow sneak a second goal. That was out of play before Kikuchi made his clearance. 16 minutes left. Torino bench. They've got huge financial problems. They could really do with a further run in this competition. Here's Merton. Dixon waiting to pick it up on the far side. He does well. Wright coming across also. Wright with a deep cross towards Alan Smith. Kikuchi doesn't know where it is, and in the end puts it behind for the corner.
Yes, certainly they've looked far more impressive this half, haven't they, Arsenal? They came out with a head of steam, they drove the game. Just looked as if they'd lost the tempo a little bit, and then all of a sudden a free kick gets them back in the game.
And Adams is up there again. Mercer with this corner. Floated in there. Touchdown by Adams, but not into the path of Bold, which is what he intended. Dixon. Playing it to Winterburn. Good play there, but Davis's pass picked up by Poggi. And Chesley sweeping it away to Yarni now. This is where he can be dangerous. There he will attack Tony Adams, and he's got pace. But Adams did well. No foul, or was it? Yes, the whistle's gone. Free kick again to Torino. This is going to be so tense, this last quarter of an hour. As these maroon-shirted Italians come forward again. Free kick. Came off Kikuchi. Someone shouting handball on the field there, but the referee is allowing it to go on. Zelensky is here. Bold is facing up to him, but he still gets it in there. And it was Smith in the end who got it away. A good header away. Selly with the clearance. A superb ball by Selly now for Wright. Selly has gone storming into the middle. Merton is in there too. Merton will pick it up. But the Italians have got back in strength also. Jensen, is this an over? No. Shot charge down. Now Yarni. Shot beautifully there by Dixon. Here's Davis. Merton. Winterburn's gone outside him. Davis might pick him up. Here he is. Down the line to Smith. Head down, galloping and knowing that Kikuchi is breathing at his back all the time.
The one thing Arsenal mustn't do now is force the game too much. Because when they do break over the halfway line, there's plenty of time and space to put the passes in now. I mean, that was a superb break before. A great ball from Selly. He's probably hit the two best balls of the match. One in each half, picking up Ian Wright with both long passes.
So what are you saying? Arsenal in the last, what have we got? Just under 15 minutes, 13 minutes. To just press, but not get too excited about it, not over-press.
But don't give the ball away when they're in the top half of the field now. I was saying earlier on, fly the ball into the box to build up the pressure. They've had that. They've got the, they've produced in that sort of situation. Now's the time to make sure they're a little bit calculating.
It's Poggi. Got Dixon at the pen ready. He's conceded another free kick. Dixon, in fact, having words with Poggi. Have a free kick then. Could be a problem here. Seaman. Line. Yarni with it. And it's gone wide. The header from Kikuchi. Now let's see if we can get one or two other scores from Europe. We got some other scores from Europe. We'll try and bring you some more scores from Europe a little later on.
Tell you what, that must sound as a warning there, you know. He's beaten Tony Adams for this one, Kikuchi.
2-2. The Leverkusen leading 3-2 on aggregate. The Germans against the cup holders of Portugal. And Paris Saint-Germain 1-1 on the night, leading 2-1 against Real Madrid on aggregate. And I'm reminding you that Ajax and Parma play tomorrow. Adams facing up to this one with the header. Not quite sure what that free kick was for, an offside.
I think that's what it must be for. I think there's a license in the flag.
Gold with a header. Kelly with a header. All this one straight to Yanni. Davis got time to get it away, but didn't make a very good fist of it, actually.
I think he's tempted to knock it back, you know. And he just sees Silencio threatening the back pass.
Smith chasing here. Fortunato going across. Smith chasing back on Gugucci. The bite a bit for a moment there. But he finds Galley. Just over 10 minutes left. Arsenal leading 1-0 tonight, and of course on aggregate too. Six and clear. The best defensive record in the Premiership. Let's hope he can hold for a few more minutes here. Murphy. Dixon. Back to Seaman. Arsenal have received only 2 goals in their 5 European games. Still a 10 Providence, but to a bad time to add to that now. Davis a little bit back on his heels then, and it was a poor ball that gives possession again to Torino, and that's the one thing, as Ron was saying, that they must not give the ball away. Winterburn, back to Seaman. Torres, and the flag up for an offside. Poggi hadn't got back quickly enough. Toniado was making an elaborate conversation with the linesman as to where it should actually be taken.
I know it's difficult because of the tension and that, bar, but if they can remain clinical, Arsenal, I'm sure they'll pick up another chance or two. Certainly Ian Wright's been making some great runs without really being spotted in from midfield. It's just be a little bit clinical, don't get too excited. I know it's difficult when you appreciate the odds. An enormous amount at stake now. Two-legged semi-final. That was a foul by Adams. He's unlucky there, actually.
Yeah, I thought he was.
In no respect. I think most continental referees will always give a free kick in that situation. But he's actually won the ball there, Adams.
Fortunato with the kick. No, he's leaving it for his captain, Susi. Luca Susi with the free kick for Torino. Trying to conjure up something here. Dixon quite happy to let David Seaman come out.
Now, the big interest, of course, as well from an English point of view, particularly a Premiership point of view, is should Arsenal go on in this competition, particularly win it, then of course it opens up another race for place in the Premiership. And also, if they do well in it, it gives more points, and maybe we'll get another place back. You know, maybe the UEFA will grant another European place to the English. Sort of George Graham before the game, and that was his sort of his message, really.
It's why people should be getting behind Arsenal tonight all around the country. It might just help their team get into Europe. Perfect. Stopped by Torres. Here's Torres. Oh, they've got a lot of moments. Torres is amongst them. Now Winterburn. Now can Arsenal break? No, and only 7 minutes left. Oh, some space here for Fortunato. Lucy claiming offside. Winterburn was good with a challenge. And a goal kick.
I wonder when he was going to start to step into play Fortunato. I mean, he can play in midfield a fair amount now. Nothing to lose. He's got to start forcing the pace. Just a little bit concerned about the way Arsenal are handing the ball back to Torino and inviting them to attack them.
Jensen at the moment injured.
It's good to say, you've got a strong defensive record, but somehow I don't know whether it's the Italian thing, but they do look ominous when they come at you. You just fancy somebody, fancy Story or something, may play a little quick 1-2 with somebody, and just open up a threat. There's nothing more sickening in Europe than to go out on a last-minute goal, on a last-minute away goal. I mean, everything's so empty after that. There's no way back.
I would think they might well be thinking about Martin Keown if Jensen can't come on, or can't go on. And in the meantime, Ian Wright getting words from George Graham, which he's passing on to Lee Dixon. So far, so good for Arsenal. 3 cheers for them as well for deciding this. We read today that with the permission of the Premiership, where they're going to revert to the numbering 1 to 11 on their shirts for the rest of the season. I just hope the other clubs now come to their senses and abandon those absurd squad numbers.
But in all
most fans will be delighted.
In all
And,
fairness,
I know
an Arsenal suggestion in the first.
I know. I think the kit men up and down the country will be delighted. This is the goal again. You think you might wear 1 to 11 at Wembley?
It's an idea we've toyed with. I mean, we've actually done it this season on a couple of occasions, you know, with the normal squad numbering. But as I say, I'm sure it was an Arsenal idea in the first place to go with the squad numbering.
Still with the names on the shirt, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
Jensen is okay, and he's down again. This time it's a free kick for Arsenal. Let's have another look at that watch. 5 minutes left. Arsenal leading 1-0. Tony Adams goal. Here looks as though he's coming on. Certain amount of animation and agitation on the bench there. Prize they feel is within their grasp. Wright was caught well offside.
Actually, Brian, he wasn't. That was Smith was offside. Wright had actually done very clear. He looked a million miles offside when the ball reached him. But he'd actually spotted the defence coming out.
Now Arsenal pulled everybody back. Torino's got everybody forward. Gregucci plays it in. And I hope Arsenal are not playing the wrong game here. Kelly battling for the ball, but doesn't get hold of it. Pochi gets it back to Fusi. Now Franceschi, he's the one we need to watch. Jensen's after him. Dixon's getting in there as well, and in the end, they get a corner. It's not over yet. So, Franceschi.
They're trying to pitch Gregucci up a bit tighter within that last free kick.
Well, Gregucci has got a fair bit of space on the edge of the box at the moment, and so is Coe. But Adams is watching him, but it's curled in there, and Seaman, to the delight of the Arsenal fans behind that goal, you can see them applauding. Delighted that he held on to that one.
The Arsenal bench are trying to get him to keep it for about 5 minutes now.
Look at the space here for Winterburn. And Wright's made a great run, and he wants Winterburn to play it down the line. Oh, Wright's got it back again. And will he get a corner out of it? Yes, he has. Fusi completely lost that one, and Wright was suddenly there. You can see him saying to the North Bank, come on, give us a cheer. And suddenly, it looked as though goal number 2 might be on, and Galley just shoveling it away for the corner. 3 minutes of the game left. For Arsenal to hold on to this 1-0 lead, they're going to make a substitution. John Jensen's going on. And Martin Keown, the defender, will come on.
Noticeable as well for this corner that they've not committed anything like the number of players forward.
No, Boulder stayed back, Winterburn has stayed back, Dixon has stayed back. Adams is in there though, and Keown is on and is going to come on to the edge of the penalty area. Mercer with the kick, Galley with the dash, and presumably with the throw. Yarni is in a lot of space on that left-hand side, but Galley has hit it straight at Dixon. Fusi, Salenti, Fortunato. It's going to be tense to the last moment here. Up goes Smith. A little knock on there. Right. And he runs straight at Gregucci. Now if that's an obstruction, I don't know what the referee will feel, whether that's the other card. It's got to be a red card. It's a red card for Gregucci. The Italian's unhappy with that, and off he goes.
That's to say, Brian, I think he's definitely unlucky there, Gregucci. I mean, you may have said on a number of occasions earlier in the game, when he's rattled the back of Smith's heels and so forth, the second booking was on the card. But I think there's a fair amount of Ian Wright's attacking with the ball there. I think the way Ian Wright's turn and went out, it made it very difficult for Gregucci to get out the way here. He's picked up and he's run straight at him now. change his direction here, and he's finding it hard now. I think he's just stood his ground there.
Well, it's a red card for him. He's off the field. Torino are down to 10. Dixon. A long cross in there towards Selly. We're in the last minute of the game with some time to be added on. Mussy gets it forward, will he? And the try and play it forward. And Selly, who's already had a yellow card. And the Italians are surrounding the referee here and are saying that Selly ought to go. Well, it's much better they get on with the game. A diving header that time by David. Right. Can't quite pick it up. Francescoli stopped by Keown. That was an important interception. The last few seconds now. Arsenal holding on. Davis gets it clear. It's another throw. But Arsenal fans just want to see that ball in the other half of the field now. Annoni. Good long throw. Towards Fortunato. Towards Francescoli. Adams is there. But Arsenal still can't get it away. Now they can. It was Smith who hit it for Selly. There's some space now for Selly. Get forward, say the Arsenal fans. Moose is coming hard at him, and Arsenal get a throw. We're into time added on now.
Just calm it down. Just keep the ball in that corner now. No need to do anything adventurous. Just stay with the ball there.
Merson heard what you were saying, Ron. And they get a free kick.
Now play a short corner and keep it in there again. Make sure they're tight at the back. Everybody's on station. And just keep it in that corner for the next 10 minutes, if you like, if he wants to play that much overtime.
This time Adams and Bold have stayed at the back.
The ball doesn't have to be thrown anywhere now. The onus is on Torino to come and make the game.
Referee's looking at the watch. Arsenal are seconds away from a place in the semi-finals of the Cup Winners' Cup. Will Bold play it all the way back? He will. Get rid of it, David Seaman. Nothing silly. Oh, my goodness. Up to Smith. It's a good ball he's played. Davis. Take the ball. Just keep it in play. Arsenal throw. They won't rush to take it. Overall, Arsenal's performance from
Second half, much improved. A lot more fire in the belly. I've come out and played more like the way they play. You know, scored a goal from a situation that you always expect Arsenal to be dangerous from.
Nearly 2 minutes of time added on. Dutch referee looking at his linesman. It's still not over yet, though. There he is! Arsenal go into the semi-finals. A 1-0 victory here. Tony Adams sold smiles all around Highbury. The applause of their fans. And that one goal was enough to take Arsenal into the semi-finals after a tight and a really tense night of European football here at Highbury. A great header from a great performance from a captain. And Arsenal take their places in the semi-finals. Torino far more positive and much better performance than they showed in the